This is a significant milestone. You know, if you've driven by on the outside, you've seen in the last few weeks, this arena is really starting to take shape. In a little more than 9 months, voters will decide if Governor Walker gets a third term. He is facing a crowded field of Democratic challengers, and it's against this backdrop that Walker delivers his 8th State of the State address. The fire department says getting to the bottom of what caused this fire will literally be quite the challenge because, well, look, there's still that pile of debris. The Foxconn construction will widen Braun Road to 4 lanes. The area south of the road, including Shaver's property, is Area 1. That's where the plant's going to go. We're looking for 2 more suspects, but it's all about these 2 right now, Mowgli and Blue. The staff here says they need to go to the vet still and get a checkup, but so far you can see they're looking good, if not getting a little restless. They won't know the full extent of the damage, of course, until these waters finally start to recede, but first, this part of the river has to crest, which isn't expected to happen for another couple hours or so. You can still see the skid marks on the grass from when the truck came through, and then you can see the brake marks on the pavement right before the truck would have hit the tree. When he tried to get out, he reversed back through the front yard, but ended up getting stuck in this fire pit. The subject of pensions is one that can easily make your eyes glaze over, but we're talking about thousands of people who rely on these pensions and billions of dollars in that fund. In her Heartland home, Renee Gross spends just about all her downtime,
I would say 80% of my life,
brightening the pages that fill the corner of her living room, which has basically become her studio.
I do it just to stay happy and calm.
Coloring is her escape.
It's like everything just kind of flows out of me. I'm just like in another world.
Gross is convinced it's the release that saved her life.
I had a nervous breakdown, ended up in a psych ward, and the only way I could not think about the bad stuff was to color.
Gross says her nervous breakdown was the end result of stress built up by medical problems, a stroke, cancer scare, heart problems, all conspiring to make her feel worthless, even around her own family.
In the hospital, here and there, I'm always sick. My family can't do anything with me because I'm always sick.
At her darkest moment, Gross says she considered suicide, taking herself out of the picture altogether.
I just felt like they would be better off without me.
Sigmund Freud had a theory about depression that in depression, one turns their anger inward. And art is a way of getting one's feelings out.
Dr. John Lehrman chairs the psychiatry department at the Medical College of Wisconsin. He says art as a form of mental health therapy is common, and those who might find the idea of adults coloring to be childish are missing the point.
Sometimes we need to return to where we developed from, and childhood is where we have the freedom to express ourselves.
For Gross, that return has turned around her life.
How much more relaxed you feel already after getting in a couple drawings?
My legs are like numb, you know, it's like I could sit here all day now. But I know my husband's gonna make me get up, do something.
Over time, Gross and her family could see the colorings were taking over the living room.
Maddie has a heart issue.
So a friend suggested
I sent to Nina in Springfield, Illinois.
Renee starts sending them to children in hospitals.
It just snowballed. I just send to whoever I get on Facebook.
All over the country.
Ava's Army in Loveland, Ohio. I sent Ava kittens, and they said she loved them.
Seeking out the support pages for hospitalized kids.
Superheroes, tractors, dogs, cats.
Is another form of therapy.
I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I don't know where it's going to go, but I just want to make people happy. And now that I'm happy, I want other people to be happy.
Unlike the colorings, there is no finished product when it comes to managing mental illness. It can be treated, though, and art just might be part of the prescription. In Heartland, AJ Bayatpour, Fox 6 News.
He's been with the trial all week long. He was there as the verdict was read. AJ?
Well, Stephanie, Ben, this trial from the very beginning was clearly going to come down to that second shot fired by Dominique Hagan Brown, the one that killed Seville Smith. Prosecutors said throughout the trial, after that 1.69 seconds after the first shot, Hagan Brown should have known better than to fire a second time. Smith was on the ground, no longer had a gun. His defense has said he couldn't be sure that Smith was no longer a threat based on the training. He couldn't see Smith's hands. It's a question that it took the jury more than 24 hours to deliberate on. Of course, they returned a not guilty verdict in this trial that's historic on multiple levels. It's the first Milwaukee police officer charged with homicide for an on-duty shooting since the late 70s. This was the first sequestered jury in Milwaukee County in more than 20 years. And after the verdict was read, DA John Chisholm said this was a historic trial in another way. The body cam video and the prominent role that played, he said it's perhaps the biggest reason when he explained the difference between why he did not charge in the Dontre Hamilton case and this one.
That was the issue. There was no video.
Of course, there's been a lot of conversation in the last few years in this country about officer-involved shootings, particularly involving African-American men. Chisholm making a point to say today that while people may see similarities, he sees each case as unique. He believes that this case is entirely different from the Philando Castile case that was recently decided in St. Anthony, Minnesota, the Mike Brown case in Ferguson, Missouri. I asked if he thinks it was too harsh of a charge to bring first-degree reckless homicide charges, a 60-year maximum sentence. If perhaps if he could do it again, he would charge differently. He says no, based on the evidence, based on what he saw on that body camera footage, that was the proper decision, and that's what he would charge if he had to do it all over again. Reporting live this afternoon outside the Milwaukee County Courthouse, AJ Bayatpour, Fox 6 News. Mary Shaw's father says he could see the signs of trouble with his son. He says he tried to keep from losing his oldest son to the streets, but could not overcome the bad influences.
I say to Quaylen, this is not what you want to do, Quaylen. You know, you're going to end up in really serious trouble if you keep on. Okay, Dad. All right, Dad. You're right.
Duncan Pearson says he knew his 17-year-old son Quaylen was on the wrong track because he started hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Some of the friends that Quaylen used to be around, they didn't want to be around Quaylen anymore because of the friends that he started being around with, because they say, Quaylen, man, them guys, man, they bad.
Pearson says his son ignored the messages. Court records show Shaw was out on bail for another stolen car case from earlier this year. Wednesday, Shaw was with Eric Smiley and Deshaun Scott when investigators say they carjacked a woman at a gas station. Shaw allegedly told police he was supposed to do the robbery, but lost his nerve, so Smiley took the shotgun and used it to rob the woman. The three then came upon Greg Ziskevich sitting in his Mustang at 23rd and Cherry. Shaw and Scott went to take it. According to Shaw, Scott went to the driver's side with the shotgun. Shaw was at the rear bumper. Moments later, Scott fired the gun.
I'm so hurt. I feel for the family of Ziggy, because the city work, he was a good guy from what I hear.
Pearson says he hurts for the Ziskevich family because he's a father too, a father who wonders what more he could have done.
I love you to death, Quaylen, but
sometimes there's nothing else you can say.
I tried, Quaylen. I tried my best.
And now Quaylen Shaw faces a maximum sentence of 81 years in prison. His father says he must now make sure his other two sons stay out of trouble. We're live in the city tonight. AJ Bayatpour, Fox 6 News.
AJ, thank you for that exclusive interview.